What's going on, my good people? This your boy, Like Up the Entertainer, here to bring you some action between Miles College and Alabama State University. These are two big bands for their divisions, and so heavyweight for both divisions. Right? Let me rephrase that: heavyweight for both divisions. They just, they hit different when you go against them. So these are two giants colliding against each other in different divisions. So very interesting to see these two go head to head. Okay, I got a chance to see them last year. Actually, they went head to head in Alabama State University's home again. So if you want to see that video, that will be a throwback video for y'all. But look above so y'all can click on that and see what that turned out to be like. Okay. But, just to let y'all know, I grade all HBCU content from the Seek, Meek, Swag, you name it, and I give fair, honest critiques on what is presented in front of me, okay? Now, granted, there's no favoritism involved. I love all HBCU bands. So, please check your attitude at the door, because that's not what this video is about, okay? This is just my honest opinion, and whatever I see fit or whatever I feel as if needs to be worked on, that's it. Now, yes, now granted, you see Alabama State has a record. Miles doesn't have a record at the moment, okay? But we will see what that looks like over time, okay? So I don't know what to expect from this battle. Who knows? It might be even a tie, okay? So in this battle, there was a zero quarter. There was halftime footage, and there was fifth quarter, okay? I'm grading all that, the full battle, okay? So just to let y'all know, before we even get started into the band video, halftime does matter. So, sometimes halftime can help them get an initial edge over the other band in fifth, okay? Because, the people who are not band heads, because I'm a band head, but people who are not band heads think that they might not stay for the fifth, but they might think that the other band won on the field. So I'm giving an honest opinion from both perspectives, okay? So just to throw that out there as well. So those points do carry over, okay? And halftime does matter. Zero quarter is just as important as fifth quarter, okay? So I'm grading all that to let y'all know I'm not just grading fifth quarter who won. That's it. No, I'm grading the whole battle collective. Okay? So, sometimes that can give a band an initial edge over the other band. So I'm grading the overall grade. Who had the strongest? And I'm collecting points throughout each battle. Okay? So I just wanted to throw that out there for people who are confused. And also, when it comes down to arrangements, I don't care what arrangement that they play. I don't care how strong the arrangement is. I don't care how weak the arrangement is. If it don't sound clean, it don't sound clean. And I want to grade the execution of the arrangement versus, it just being a strong arrangement. I'm grading the execution of the arrangement. Does that make sense? Because some people be like, oh, well, this band won because they had a strong arrangement and they pen game. I'm not grading all that. I'm grading the full battle as a collective. Just want to throw that out there for people who just be confused. Alright. So with that being said, let's get into the grading scale so we'll be grading for zero quarter. We're going to be grading song selection, power, articulation, arrangement, and overall cleanness. Okay. Maximum points they can make all together is 45. In zero quarter, sometimes these bands usually play spirit songs. So if a band been playing an arrangement for a certain amount of years, or if a band plays something that's connected with that school, they would, hurt their grade a tad bit. But zero quarter, I want to see how they book is structured, if they have enough songs to carry to fifth. So, some bands are not prepared for zero quarter. And I would give y'all fair warning now that zero quarter is very chaotic. So we might not grade everything because either one band's playing over the other, etc. But I'm giving my fair, honest opinion on the arrangement. Alright? So, let's get into the action. Did enough rambling. If y'all like this type of content, please consider liking and subscribing. Alright. Let's get to it. Shout out to Alabama State for getting this footage. This is a short 8 minutes. let's get that a grade. Oh man. They shut out so we can give that shit a Ric Flair moment. Woo! That shit was nice, man. Look. Man. Alabama State. Alabama State. That's all I gotta say. Yes, indeed. Oh, man. Everything about it was good. Clean. Everything was together. Very, very, very nice. Enjoyed every bit of it. Whew. Moving on. Alright, let's start this march. Cut through, Williams. Respect for the marches. Bring the marches back, you. I'm very happy that they put a march out there. You know, it's actually something that you don't hear often in zero quarter no more. I grew up in an era when that was like a must. So I'm kind of glad that they brought that out in the right time for zero quarter. That's when you're supposed to do it. Now, let me get my fair honest critique on it. Song selection is 5, power is 10. Articulation, I'm going to give them a 10. Arrangement is 10. Cleanness, I'm going to give them a 9. I'm going to give them a 44. There were some runs that just need to be sprucing up just a little bit. Especially just anytime they had a run, they just need to be sprucing up, especially when looking at the trombones. Trombones need to be a little bit stronger, especially when it comes down to them runs. But, I mean, everything else was just straight. Very, very good. I'm really glad that they do that. They did that. So, almost a perfect. Almost a perfect. Moving on. Not mad at them at all. All right, Alabama State. I need to hear a march from you. Real talk. I better hear some circus beat or something. Give me them basses. This is what I mean by get chaotic. Alright. Give that shit a Ric Flair moment. Woo! Oh, that was nice, man. I love that arrangement. Every time I hear that, get chills, bruh. But let me give that a grade. Let me give an honest take on that. Alright, Miles responded with a march. I was expecting a march back from them. I'm going to be 100 with you. Like, it's one of those things, like, if you don't play a march back, I feel like, you kind of default, kind of moved ahead, So, song selection, I'm going to give them a 3 on that. That's just me, though. Power, 10. Articulations, 10. Arrangements, 10. Cleanness is a 10. Alright, so they got a 43 for that one. Alright. Me personally, I felt like they could have gave us a march. Me personally. I respect them playing that song, yes. I get it. I just feel as if they could have gave me a march. I'm just going to be real 100 with you. It'd be different if this was like 5th quarter and they pulled that out. But this is 0 quarter. I want to see what y'all know. You know what I'm saying? Give me them bases, Give me our director. See, yeah, I know about that shit. Yeah, I know about that shit. And I feel like, that's something it's an era that's something that's missing, So hopefully that they get that on board. But that's my fair criticism, though. But, I mean, still, that was still a good arrangement. I can't take that away from Alabama State. I mean, like, shit, that was good. So, moving on. Alright, let's get that a grade. So, song selection, I'm going to give them a 5. Power, I'm going to give them a 10. Articulation, I'm going to give them a 10. Arrangement, I'm going to give them a 9. Cleanness, I'm going to give them a 10. Alright, so they got a 44 on that one. Alright, the reason why I gave arrangement that, it would just seem like it was a big loop. That's what it really was. It was just a big loop. They even had a solo with the French horns, if I'm not mistaken. But that was it. And they just kept looping it. I was expecting a little bit more than that. But, they got a 4-4. All right. So, who won 0? Who won 0? Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a tie. Okay? It's a tie in 0. Okay? One thing I would say for both bands is song selection is everything, and I feel like they kind of hurt both of those bands in the 0 quarter. Me personally, Alabama State would have been ahead if they would have gave me a march. That's me personally. I feel like I was craving that march. You feel me? I mean, circles be something. I would have been able to respect that more from Alabama State in 0 quarter. Because, I mean, it made sense. It made perfect sense. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah. I would say also when we look at Miles, they just need to work on just staying clean. That last song, I just feel like they could have gave me a stronger song than that, and I think they would have been straight. Then they would have had the edge by 1. So, kind of depends on preference, but that's how I feel about this battle right now. Okay, so right now it's a tie. It's a tie. Alright, so we are moving on to halftime. Okay, moving on to halftime. So before we get into halftime, I would like to tell y'all, if y'all like this type of content, please consider liking and subscribing. Means so much to me. Okay. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is my personal opinion. Don't bash your boy in the comments. Now, in halftime, I will be putting arrows on people if I need to. I will give my verdict on that. Okay? So, I don't know what to expect in this halftime, but I'm excited to see it. Alright? So, with that being said, please look to the cards next to me so you know what we'll be grading. We're going to be grading entrance, songs, formation, dancers, breakdown, overall creativity. Maximum points they can make all together is 25. With an extra incentive, that's actually 30. Okay? So, this can be the determining factor on who gets the lead in this battle. It could still be a tie. I don't know what to expect out of this, but I'm excited to bring it to you. Alright? So, this is one of those things that I can see going right for both bands if they do everything right. Okay? Now, this is my first time seeing Miles this semester. Okay? So, I don't know what to expect, but I know that Alabama State, hey, they had a perfect 30. They had a perfect 30 when they went against Southern. So, if y'all want to see that video and see what I'm talking about, please click on that video above. Okay? So, y'all know what I'm talking about. See why they got the trophy emoji by their name. Okay? So, with that being said, I did enough rambling. Let's get into the action. Miles College is going to be first. Shout out to B-Day Show for catching this footage. Mic on? Okay. Alright, Miles. Let's see what you got.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Board of Trustees, President Dr. Bobby Knight, the 15th President of Miles College, the first female president in Miles College history. Students, faculty, alumni, and friends, we are elated to be here in Guntown, Montgomery, Alabama. And on behalf of the Director of Bands, Professor Willie J. Slack Jr., Assistant Director of Bands, Brian Knowles. Assistant, Director, we have
Could not find no states. Good job, Miles. Good job. So 8 to 5 issue stepping off. Very slight. Very good. Very good.
That's right. If you're not BMF, you're gonna get it right now. It ain't too hard for us to take up. Let's go, BMF. Let's right now, feast your eyes on the beyond line. That's the thing on the stars. That's for you. With grace, charm, and beauty. Round of applause for the lovely.
I feel like that could have been cleaner. I feel like that could have been way cleaner.
At this time, can we get both sides of the stadium to stand to your feet? All sides of the stadium to your feet. Resting on your feet. At this time, President Dr. Bobby Knight and the Miles College Purple Marching Machine would like to extend our heartfelt sympathies to Mrs. Jasmine Goodwin and the Marching Hornet family. We stand in solidarity with the ASU band family during this challenging time as we honor the life and legacy of Charles Goodwin, also known as Tootsie. Right now, fans alike, a moment of silence, please.
I really appreciate they gave
May God's blessings be upon the mighty marching Hornet Band. May God continue to uplift the Alabama State University. Thank you so much. Right now, we're in downtown. It's time for the dance routine. Going on right here. Director of Bands, Professor Willie J. Stan Jr., Assistant Director of Bands, Professor Brian Knowles. Thank you so much. It's so long for
all
now.
right. Let's get that a grade. All right. So creativity, I'm gonna give them a 4. Entrance, I'm gonna give them a 5. Songs, a 5. Formations, a 5. Breakdown, I'm gonna give them a 5. Dancers, a 4. Okay, almost a perfect. Almost a perfect. They end up scoring a 28. All right. Everything else, everything was just pretty well for Miles. Like the step up, I don't think critique I would say they just had just a small minor hiccup as far as stepping off, but they got on track, so I couldn't even really criticize them for that. So they just got to watch out on step offs, but for the majority, everything was clean. I mean, symmetry was well, everything was there, energy was there. One thing I would say is that if they would have gave me another creative moment, that would probably gave them an extra push. But still good overall. Like I enjoyed watching this from them. Okay, very strong, very very strong. With a 28, that's a top. That's a top score. That's a top score. So can't wait to see what they're gonna bring. Alabama State's gonna bring next. Okay. Again, if y'all made it this far in the video, please consider liking and subscribing. It means so much to me. Alrighty, let's get to the action, y'all. Alabama State's next. Again, shout out to the B-Day show for capturing the footage.
Mic on? Okay.
Let me hear you say, yeah, 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 state. Yeah, 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 state. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Dr. Quentin Ross, President of Alabama State University, Dr. Wendy Coleman, Dean of the College of Visual and Performing Arts, and Dr. Carly Johnson, Chair of the Department of Music. Ladies and gentlemen, we proudly present to you the Alabama State University Mighty Marching Hornets! Taking the field, ladies and gentlemen, the first HBCU marching band to perform at Rose Bowl Stadium. You see them on A&E, Aspire, and Lifetime. Put your hands together right now for your Alabama State University Mighty Marching Hornets! It's halftime fanfare.
Calls in the field.
Gentlemen, as Director of Bands, Dr. James B. Oliver conducts One Sweet Day by Mariah Carey and Boyz II Men. We direct your attention to the video board as we honor Marching Hornets who have recently passed, including instructor of percussion, Charles Goodwin III. forever in our hearts. March your Hornets forever. Snap! Snap! And now it's our beautiful and sensational Steve Adams. The Stevens, often imitated, but never ever duplicated. It's our famous fast march called the double time. Now sit back, coordination, as we play by Kilo, Lionel, Pluto, Sierra, and so much more. Coordination, if you're ready to turn up with the Hornets, make some noise! You see what the score is? You already know who we is. Big Bama! Big Bama! Big Bama! Get down, Hornets! Let's get down, Hornets! Break it out, those Hornets. They can't get down like us. And now, ladies and gentlemen, with a very special tribute to Janiyah Grimes, it's the Honeybees. Dancing to Our God for You. Make some noise! Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed our show. The Mighty Microphones on every direction. Dr. Oliver, assistant secretaries,
All right, let's get that a grade. All right, so I just gotta keep it 100, man. A perfect 30, ladies and gentlemen. A perfect 30. A perfect 30. Then hit us with the awesomeness. Oh, Alabama State. They on a roll this year, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. They are on a roll this year when it comes down to the field shows. My goodness. Woo! This the second one for me for them. Yeah. This the second perfect 30 for me. Yeah, that's crucial, Alabama State. That hey, look, congratulations on getting 2 of them for me. Look, let's see what they look like for the rest of the year. But they doing phenomenal this year on the field. They're doing phenomenal. You hear me? They are really putting that work in. Really putting that work in. And they look clean together. The presentation, everything was there. No complaints. No complaints at all. Alright? So, what did that leaves us in this for halftime? Alright? So, the current standings right now. Updated standings. Alabama State is up by 2 points on halftime. They up by 2. It was a tie and 0. They up by 2 in halftime now. Okay? So, we're moving on to 5th quarter. Okay? Alright. So, before we get into 5th quarter, I would like to let y'all know that I have a membership program. So, if y'all want to be a part of that family, please consider doing that. It's $2 a month. Again, that's $2 a month. I will be grading past band videos from different eras, from the 90s on up, different drumline battles, etc. You never know what I'm going to grade. The perks of being a member is that you can control what more that we see. So if you want to see more swag, you want to see more meek, you want to see more seek, you can do that. Okay. There'll be membership only polls, etc. Y'all will get emojis, everything underneath the sun. Y'all will have that, and I will give y'all personal thanks after every video. Okay, just to say, hey, I appreciate you. Now, if you don't want to go through the membership program, I have a thank you tab at the bottom. So if you want to shoot your boy some love and still donate to the channel, you can do that. Now, granted, I don't know if y'all been paying attention to the videos and that, but sometimes, occasionally, I have to skip through and cut down commercials, okay? Now, sometimes during my reactions, commercials just pop up at random, but the whole purpose of me having these proceeds will help me combat the commercials from coming on. So, YouTube Premium is a thing. And so that's something that I will be aiming towards doing pretty soon. Okay, so if y'all can donate to the channel and help me afford that, that'll be well welcomed. Okay, so with that being said, we finna get into 5th quarter. Okay, so with 5th quarter, it's similar to 0 quarter. Only thing is different is that it's gonna be more points and song selection. Okay, so let's get that scared right now so y'all know. Song selection is gonna be song selection, power, articulation, arrangement, and overall cleanness. Song selection is going to be 10, power 10, articulation 10, arrangement 10, cleanness 10. All points together makes 50. Okay? So with that 50 being involved, that can carry a band significantly. So now I'm not expecting any marches. I'm not expecting any spirit songs. I'm expecting to see where their book is at. Now this is 31 minutes and 50 seconds long. So this is a pretty medium-sized 5th quarter. Okay, so I'm expecting about 4 or 5 rounds from these bands. Okay, so I'm excited to see what we're going to get into this. I went with B-Day show to get this one. I didn't want to go use Alabama State's footage because they love to copyright people for some strange reason. So you know, I want to go with this footage, and so hopefully everything works out, and hopefully they didn't copyright B-Day, because then I have to go to Alabama State just to hear it. So, fingers crossed, ladies and gentlemen. Fingers crossed. So, we're going to get into the action, man. get at a grade. All right. So for the majority, everything was good. The hybrid started dying close to the end. All right. So, but song selection is 10, power is 10, articulation is 10, arrangements 10, cleanness I'm giving them a 9. So they got a 49. Almost a perfect. Almost a perfect. Right there. I just wish the trumpets didn't die close to the end. But I mean, for everything else, they was smacking for the majority. I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it from both from Miles. That was a strong piece to start off with. I enjoyed that thoroughly. Okay, I just need to keep that stamina up with the trumpets. All right, moving on.
Atera is the IT painkiller. Remote monitoring
See what
and
I mean?
management. Remote
Ran a
access.
commercial.
Help desk and ticketing.
Let's get at a grade. Oh man, Alabama State's pen. Woo! They got that thing working on that piece. Oh man, they got them a nice perfect on that. Oh man. Woo! Alabama State. Oh my gosh. Whew. That arrangement was crucial. Moving on. Slow down, man. So, give that shit a Ric Flair moment. Woo! Y'all heard that pen? That pen was crucial to me. I fucks with that arrangement. The only problem is I feel like they need to work on it some more. Alright? So, sound selection, I'm give them a 10. Power, I'm give them a 10. Articulation, I'm give them a 9. Arrangements, 10. If I could rate it higher, I would. Cleanness, I'm going to give them a 9. Alright, so they got a 48 on that one. There's some stuff that needs to be worked on. The phrases, that you know, some people were not attacking together on that. It was some parts too when some runs were just not clean. Okay, so that's why they got a 48. But I really fucks with that arrangement. I really fucks with that arrangement. I feel like that can go viral if they can spruce it up some more. You know, I appreciate them for throwing it out there against Alabama State, but you know, I want it to be a tad bit cleaner. You know, but very good, very very good. Chef kiss to the pen, for real, for real. All right, moving on. Alright, let's get out a grade. Get that shit a Ric Flair moment. Woo! Oh man, that pen. Oh, they active. Both bands activating their pen right now. Oh my gosh. Alright, so song selection is a 10. Power is a 10. Articulation, I'm gonna give them a 10. Arrangement, I'm gonna give them a 10. Cleanness, I'm gonna give them an 8. Alright. More so the tubas. More so the tubas. It'd be different if it was just a hiccup here and there, but it was some parts where they just kept missing and it was not together. So I'm giving them a 48 on that one. Alright. Moving on.
Why is everyone using ninja transfers?
Throw it back. All right. Nice arrangement with the trombones. I like that part in there. That was pretty dope. They all got their unique version of it. I like that. So song selection is 10, power is 10, articulation, I'm gonna give them a 9. Arrangements 10, cleanness, I'm gonna give them a 9. So they got a 48. Reason why I said articulation, there was some phrases with the trombones when they could not get it out all the way. Especially the first time when they did the trombone riff, and then when everybody else came in after that, they were not together. When we talking about tone quality, it was a part when they were just hanging over just a tad bit too, so they kind of hurt them just a little bit, so they got a 48 as well in that. All right, moving on. Can we acknowledge that pen? Give that shit a Ric Flair moment. Woo! That shit send chills down your spine. Oh my gosh. Alright, so sound selection's 10, power's 10, articulation's 10, arrangements 10, cleanness I'm gonna give them a 9. Alright. There's some spots that need to be worked on just a tad bit. The runs, when we get to that part, that part. Also, trombones just need to be just sprucing up just a little bit when they first start. But, I mean, for the majority, it was good. For the majority, it was good. I just feel like they just need to work on those particular issues. I think they'd be good. Alright, moving on. Okay, Trill. Did that Trill.
This calls the instrument to.
My dude just hating. What people don't realize, they booing the gospel song. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That was nice for Miles. No complaints at all for Miles. That was very nice. I think that was their strongest song of the night. That was their strongest song of the night. And I know there was some people booing in the audio, but they don't even realize they were booing a gospel song. Just saying. But yeah, good stuff for Miles. I enjoyed that. It was very smooth, very sweet, very subtle. Nobody did too much. Everybody played in the pocket. Not mad at all. Not mad at all. Good job. Good job, Miles. Moving on. Okay. Alright. I love that arrangement for them, but I heard it cleaner. Alright. So song selection is 10, power is 10, articulation will give them a 9, arrangement 10, cleanness is a 9. Alright. One thing I would say about that is that there was some parts that need to be sprucing up just some. Some people were not attacking together, and there was some muddy parts in there. Okay. Now, granted, like I said, I heard it cleaner. So, you know, they just need to just work on fine tuning that some more. But yeah, for the most part, that's what that is. All right, I gotta give Miles that one. That's Miles' win over them for that first round. Yeah, Miles won that pass round. All right. Let's see what Miles got.
looking to elevate your voice.
Okay, what else? Alright, let's get that a grade. Alright, so song selection is 10, power is 10, articulation is 10, arrangement is 10, cleanness, I'm going to give them a 9. Almost a perfect. Almost a perfect. I just feel like there's some parts that need to be sprucing up, like with the tubas. There was some parts in the middle of it that just need to be tight, just like slightly cleaner. Slightly cleaner. That's just me, though. Moving on. Okay, let's get that a grade. Get that shit a Ric Flair moment. Woo! Oh my gosh. Oh man, almost a perfect though. Everything else was a 10. Cleanness is gonna be a 9. The tubers, man. They just have to just play the tuber break just a tad bit cleaner. Just a tad bit cleaner. You know, they just need to just rectify that one spot. Everybody else did great. I just think the tubers just needed just to hit the small spots just right there and there. Now I'm gonna say this too. This is the beginning of the season. Alright. So, we got our good days and we got our bad days. But, I think there's some stuff that need to be put in the lab. A lot of this stuff they didn't pull against Southern, so they pulling it out now. You kind of get what I'm getting at. These are new songs that need to work on some more. Alright, moving on. I want to that part right there. You got 2 more rounds left. Alright. Let's get out of grade. Alright. So song selections 10, powers 10, articulations 9, arrangements 10, cleanness I'm gonna give them an 8. Okay? They got a 47 on that. There's a lot of things that need to be worked on that. I don't know what was going on in that, but it did not sound clean. Alright? So that's just me. It was some stuff that just needs to be better. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. There was just some stuff in that just need to be way better than that. Way, way, way better than that. Alright, moving on. I'm gonna bring it back. Alright, let's give that a grade. So, sun selection is 10. Power is 10. Articulation, I'm giving them a 9. Arrangement's 10. Cleanness is a 10. For the majority, it was good. I just think there was some parts that just need to be sprucing up with them attacking in the middle, and I think they'd be straight. You know, everything else was straight for the majority. Okay? So, I don't know if Miles is leaving out or what, but we finna see. Miles said they got one more in though. Okay. Alright, let's get at a grade. Sound selections 10, powers 10, articulation I'm giving them a 10, arrangements 10, cleanness I'm giving them a 9. It's like right there. That piece is right there. It just needs sprucing up just on the small things. I think it's in the upper grass just a little bit. Just for them just to graze that just a tad bit. It's almost there. Like it's like a 4.9 almost to a 50. You know what I'm saying? So it's like right there. Like it just need to just be just sprucing it just a little bit more. That'd be ready. That'll be ready next time I hear it. Alrighty. I think Alabama State's leaving too, so. Alrighty, I guess that's it. We're not going to count that against Alabama State either. Alright? So, let me do some calculation real quick and we're going to say who won. Alright? Alright. Let's give this battle a grade. Alright. So, let's give a recap so we'll know where we at. Okay? 0 quarter, it was a tie. Okay? 0 quarter, it was a tie. Alright. Halftime, Alabama had the edge by 2 points. 5th quarter, we go down to 5th quarter. 5th quarter, Alabama State was ahead by 2 points. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, Alabama State won this battle. Okay? It was a 4-point difference. Okay? If y'all made it to this end of the video, please consider liking and subscribing. It means so much to me. And I'm going to give accolades to both bands. They both did great. Alright, so reason why I gave it to Alabama State, they had a stronger field show, number one. And they were just slightly cleaner than Miles College in the field. Okay? Now, you know, by all means, it was kind of neck and neck for some of the battle because Alabama State was kind of struggling with some of their songs too in this field. Alright? So, to give a fair shake, Miles had a chance to punch them a couple times. Alright? They did. But Miles just couldn't capitalize today. Alright? Now, there's no favoritism involved. I want to thoroughly throw that out there. There's no favoritism. I enjoyed both bands. I think they did phenomenal. Okay? I just think Alabama State was stronger in this battle. Okay? So, with that being said, you know, it was a treat to see both of these bands go against each other again. You know, hopefully next time Alabama State come across Miles, maybe Miles can punch him in the face or two. Just saying. Just saying. What I would say, fair criticism for Alabama State, they got to clean up some of those newer songs that they presented today. Need to sprucing up some of their older songs too. It was a lot of songs that I feel like could have been cleaner and they could have got a decisive dub over Miles College altogether in the field. But they just chose to put some new songs out there and they just want to clean. Work on y'all tubas, work on y'all runs. That's all I have to say. Miles, y'all gonna have to work on articulating. Y'all gonna have to work on y'all runs as well. More so, make sure y'all really work on y'all high brass and y'all work on y'all book as far as just sprucing it up some more. Because there's some heavy hitters in there. I just feel as if they just needs to make sure that they just fine tune it. Now that gospel song was their best song of the night. That gospel song was their best song of the night. So, but with that being said, man, you know, that's my fair criticism on it. But I think, you know, like again, Alabama State won this one. So that's my verdict. I'm finna get up out of here, man. Like I tell y'all always. Deuces.